He had the perfect life. Or at least that's what everyone on Instagram thought. Meet Marcus. He was 27, tall, confident, and always smiling in his photos. Every weekend, his Instagram stories looked like a movie scene. Rooftop dinners in the city, unboxing the latest designer sneakers, weekend trips to the beach with his friends, and casual selfies next to cars he didn't even own. His followers, all thousands of them, called him the guy who figured life out early. They saw a man living the dream. But what they didn't see, what no one saw, was that Marcus was drowning, not in water but in crippling debt. It all started 2 years earlier, when Marcus landed his first real job out of university. He was making $2,200 a month. Now it wasn't a fortune, but after years of being a broke student, it felt like freedom. And like a lot of us, when we get that first taste of real money, he wanted to look successful. For the first time, he felt like he could afford to. So he bought new clothes to fit the part. He upgraded his phone to the latest model. He even moved into a sleek, modern apartment, one he knew deep down he could barely afford. At first, it seemed manageable. He was just about making it work. Then came the first credit card. It was for emergencies, he told himself. Then came a second one for travel and experiences. Soon, Marcus was juggling bills like a circus performer borrowing from one card just to make the minimum payment on another. But online? Online, he looked like he was thriving. Here's the thing about social media. It runs on perception. The likes, the comments, the they create this powerful illusion that you're doing well. Marcus got hooked on that feeling. Every like was a small hit of validation. Every new follower was proof that he was winning at life. But with every dopamine rush from his screen, came another real-world purchase. Another expensive dinner out, another must-have outfit, another monthly payment he couldn't afford. He wasn't just buying things anymore. He was buying approval, until one day, the illusion shattered. The truth came crashing in. It was a Friday afternoon. Marcus was at his desk, wrapping up the work week, when an email popped up. The subject line read, "Your payment has been declined." It was for his internet bill, just $60. A small amount, but his account was empty. At first, he laughed it off. It's nothing, he thought. Maybe my salary just hasn't cleared yet. But when he nervously opened his banking app, his heart sank. There was nothing there. Actually, it was worse than nothing. His balance was negative. He had maxed out every credit card, delayed every bill he could, and overdrawn his checking account. The man who looked rich to thousands of people online couldn't even pay for his own Wi-Fi. For the first time in his life, Marcus felt the walls closing in. The air in his stylish apartment suddenly felt thin. His rent was due in 4 days. His phone carrier would cut his service in 2. And he still hadn't told a single soul, not his family, not his friends, not even his girlfriend. He spent that entire weekend trapped in his apartment, scrolling endlessly through Instagram. He watched other people living the exact same life he was pretending to have. It felt like watching a movie of himself, except in this version, he wasn't the star anymore. He was just part of the audience. And the story wasn't glamorous, it was exhausting. That night, alone in the quiet of his apartment, Marcus made a decision that would change everything. He picked up his phone, found the Instagram app, and held his finger down on it. He didn't just log out. He deleted it. Completely. For the first time in years, he sat in complete silence. No scrolling. No notifications, no pressure to post a fake smile. And in that silence, something shifted. He pulled out a dusty notebook and a pen and started writing down his expenses. At first, it was just a list of cold, hard numbers. Rent $750, groceries $200, subscriptions $90, clothes $150, restaurants $300, but as the list grew, the truth started to sink in. He wasn't broke because of his income. He was broke because of his choices. He was broke because he was trying to live someone else's life. The next morning, Marcus made a deal with himself. No more pretending. No more buying things for likes. His first call was to his landlord, asking if there was a smaller, cheaper room available. He spent the afternoon selling half of his designer clothes online. He even started cooking his own meals again, something he hadn't done since his college days. The first few weeks were rough. He was hit with waves of withdrawal. He missed the validation. He missed the illusion of being that guy. But slowly, things began to shift. The mountain of debt started shrinking. His savings account, which started with just a few dollars, began to grow. And more importantly, for the first time in a long time, he started to breathe again. He felt lighter. 3 months later, he opened a new Instagram account. But this time it was different. No filters, no borrowed cars. No fancy dinners he couldn't afford. Just real, honest stories about his journey, about money, about mistakes, and about the slow process of rebuilding. At first, his posts barely got any likes. It was discouraging. But then one day, a message popped up in his DMs. It read, "Bro, your story made me seriously rethink my own life. Thanks for keeping it real." That one single message, that one moment of genuine connection, felt better than all the thousands of fake likes he had ever collected. 6 months later, Marcus had paid off half his debt. He had found a simple budget system that actually worked for him, the 50-30-20th rule. 50% of his income went to his needs, 30% to his wants, and 20% straight into savings and debt repayment. It wasn't magic. It was just discipline, one day at a time. He started sharing exactly how he used to live beyond his means and how the smallest changes made the biggest difference. His new audience began to grow, not because he was showing off, but because he was being authentic. Then came a moment that brought everything full circle. One day, he received an invitation to speak at a financial literacy event for young professionals. When he got on stage, he looked out at the audience, hundreds of faces, all looking back at him. They looked just like him 2 years ago, smiling on the outside, but struggling on the inside. He took a deep breath and said, "I used to think success was about how other people saw me. But I learned that real success started the day I stopped trying to impress others and started taking care of my future self." The room went silent. And in that silence, Marcus realized something profound. The glamorous life he had once faked online was nothing compared to the genuine peace of mind he had now. But here's the part of the story most people don't get to see. After his speech, Marcus walked back home to the same small apartment, with the same old laptop, wearing the same basic sneakers. Except this time as he walked, he smiled a real smile. Because for the first time, everything he owned was truly his. It was all paid for. And that's when it hit him. He didn't lose his old life. He escaped it, all because of one unpaid bill. The bill that exposed the truth and in doing so, set him free. The final message is this. You don't need to look rich to build real wealth. You just need to make one honest decision, to stop performing for an audience and start building for yourself. Because sometimes the very moment that breaks you is the same moment that finally wakes you up. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content about building a life of true wealth and well-being. See you in the next one.